Hello everybody, my daughter and I put out video about 5 weeks ago that became so popular. It was about pouring acrylic on a canvas. Today we will show a more precise recipe. So I will need acrylic. I'll use these two brands, it's very cheap, it's from Michael's. And this acrylic I got for free as a sample. The school glue. Then we will need cups, spoons, a silicone spray. It was only $3, I believe. Actually it was $3 for two in Home Depot. And alcohol. I have problem with alcohol. You need it only for one reason, to speed up the drying. Our canvas that we put alcohol in dried in about 3 days, the very big canvas. And then when we made one without alcohol, it actually dried in about 3 weeks. Alcohol will speed up the drying a lot. But after that video, as soon as I opened alcohol, when my dogs started to sneeze, and then we poured it in a paint, and then we poured it on the canvas, I hardly finished that video, I have to tell you. I started to have such an awful migraine that I decided I am not going to use alcohol ever again. Video, I realized that I do not have acrylic paint, so I will replace it with gesso. And this is white acrylic gesso, so I would assume it doesn't matter what it is. So I will start with preparation of the glue. This glue is just a normal white glue. You can have PVA glue, and it's the cheapest way to do it. Dollar glue works well, but this glue is better. I need to dilute this glue half and half, and I already have, if you can see, half container basically gone. So I'll just add water in here and shake it well. It will save some time instead of doing it in every single cup. Just give it a little good shake while glue get a little better dissolved. I'll start pouring paint in the cups. 1 cup will be for white. I'll leave it here, and these cups will be for other colors. I will need only a teaspoon. This is 10 milligram. Will be enough. So this one I will not even measure, I'll just put it in. Blues are naturally very strong colors, and given that this is a better brand than my Craft Smart, so there is a good chance that blue will dominate everything. I have to tell you that these projects, every time you do it, it's experiment. You really never know what you'll end up with. And sometimes you can have good expensive paint and it's just not working out. I will need to add the water, and I do not know how much because that paint is, you see, very thick. It's actually really good paint. That would be great to paint with it. I will start with 1 teaspoon, mix it up, and then I'll see what happens. So I guess if you use some kind of brands from the tube, like a Liquitex, that's more likely what happens. Okay. Why do we dilute the acrylic? First of all, to make volume more, you'll have more paint. Second, for this project, everything has to run like paint too. This is a little too thick. That's actually, I need a little more water, so I'll do the 2nd teaspoon. Yeah, this is better, so you can see how it runs. So that's how it has to run. Now we will add the same amount of this glue mixture. So the question now, what is the same amount? The same amount as water. So I had 2 teaspoons of water. I'll add 2 teaspoons of glue. What glue will do? Glue actually will replace the medium that we dissolved in there, not dissolved, diluted. And when we add water, we kind of break it down. So that medium doesn't work well. And your paint, when it will dry, it actually will crack. Okay, so this is good. This is a good mixture. And for now I will leave it, because next I need to put silicone and alcohol, but again I already mentioned that I'm not going to put alcohol in there. Now when I'm not making video, and I work with children a lot, so when I do it with the children, I can do all this in 5 minutes myself. Like when I help children to prepare for this project. I decided to put more yellow because I'm really afraid that blue is so strong that it will just dominate it all. Yeah, this is pretty thick. I probably will put the same amount of water. I will start with 1 teaspoon and then I'll see how it runs. So maybe that will be enough. I see that many people do it online and many people give good recipes. Keep in mind that every recipe is good for particular brand of acrylic and particular freshness of acrylic. Because then all the acrylic, that more thick it is, the more lumps it has inside, and the better you need to dissolve it and use water or maybe even some kind of acrylic medium. Yeah, this is perfect. So now I will do glue in there, and each time I have to shake this mixture because it gets heavy and it drowns. This one is just perfect. It's better than the blue one. Hopefully it doesn't mean that it will spoil my project. No, I don't think it will spoil project. My daughter and I made so many of these canvases already. And no matter what we use stuff from dollar store, we use expensive brands, we always end up with some kind of nice result, some nice sales. And even if sales doesn't happen, it still looks good. For some reason this project always gives nice result. Okay, let this sit, and now the red one. I will also put 2 teaspoons of red and water. I think I put a little too much water because it kind of ran off my spoon. So if it is, I'll just put more acrylic. Because I don't want it to be too watery. Yeah, I'll just put more acrylic. So this amount of paint meant to cover 9 by 12 canvas. However, sometimes I think to extend it for even more. Because as you see when you cover canvas, there's so much paint runs off. That I always wonder, like, what if to take type of canvas where it cannot run off? That is like canvas like really big and then just cut out what you need. Okay, this is perfect. So now white. Okay, little problem. Okay, so now gesso. Or gesso. 1 fat spoon, and I'll do another spoon. A little bit more, just a little bit. I have there 3 teaspoons of paint. I'll put 3 teaspoons of glue. And it doesn't have to be precise measurements, it's not like it's some kind of cooking. Okay, so now I need to prepare for pouring. Put stuff out of my way. And when I do pouring, I always use a box, because this way I do not have mess on my table. So now, silicone spray. I usually put 1 spray per teaspoon. So this one had 3, I'll do 3 sprays. This had 2, I put 2. This 2. Okay, here something happened, didn't go. Okay. Now I'll mix it, of course. Spray would be mixed. You do not really need to sit and mix really well. Spray always try to swim on top, like oil. I do not need spoons anymore. I'm removing the spoons. And now one by one I will pour everything in 1 cup. And that cup should be white. I think it is white because white actually the most heaviest paint. Most of the time white sink on the bottom. Like when you pour, no matter what you do, if you have a liquidy paint, white usually sink down. Okay, now red, and again it doesn't matter, it's just important that it's all into white. And now some people prefer go from dark to light, some prefer from light to dark, and yellow. This is the board that I want to use, and I actually want to use this side, the white side. Or maybe it's too slippery. I used to use it for watercolor, for stretching paper, and it's too heavy. I stopped liking it, because when I go somewhere I want it to be as light as possible. Yeah, I think I'll use this side. Oh, it doesn't fit in my box. Okay. So, now there is 2 ways. One way you cover the cup and then you flip together, or another way you just pour it. I'll try to do this, to cover the cup. I'll flip it and hold it. That's why I like boxes, I always can put it in on top of the box. So now you just need to wait 30 seconds maybe for all the paint go down. If you have clear cup, you kind of see that sort of like if it doesn't go, the white there, it's actually going down. Don't be fooled by that. Alright, I'm picking it up. And that's what we have. Now I will start slowly. You see the bubbles already? See those bubbles that's happening?